Macmillan Audio presents Saving Meghan by D.J. Palmer, read by Mary Stuart Masterson and Rebecca Soler. Chapter 1. Becky. Panic gripped her as the airplane's hatch door closed. Her heartbeat skittered against the tightness stretched across her chest. The air tasted stale, harder to take in as her breathing turned rapid and shallow. A thin sheen of sweat dampened her face and coated her body. Her skin stuck to the seat's faux leather upholstery like adhesive. Becky Gerard thought to herself, "I've made a terrible mistake." A composed flight attendant, appropriately attired in a blue uniform with a matching silk scarf, spoke through an intercom. "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Katrina, and I'll be your chief flight attendant on this 6.5-hour flight from Boston's Logan Airport to Los Angeles. The cabin doors are now closed, so kindly make sure your seat backs and tray tables are in their full upright positions, and your seatbelt is securely fastened low and tight across your lap. Also, please note at this time we respectfully ask that you power down and store all portable electronic devices until we've reached our cruising altitude." Becky focused on the portable electronic device clutched in her hand. Instead of powering it down, she held the device low against her leg to keep it out of Katrina's sight. The phone was Becky's lifeline to the outside world, her conduit to what mattered most, her daughter, Meghan. The plane jolted as it pulled away from the gate, and soon after began a slow taxi toward the runway. The pit in Becky's stomach deepened. She waited for a text, some reply from Carl, her gaze fixed on the phone. Her seatmate, a pleasant 40-something man, took note of Becky's open defiance with a degree of amusement. "I'll shield you," the man said in a conspiratorial tone. Becky glanced up to thank him. He gave her a warm, friendly smile, nothing more. It was rare for her to sit next to a man and not feel his desire. She was tall, annoyingly thin to some outspoken friends, with long, flowing blonde hair and sharp blue eyes that called attention to her nicely symmetrical face. Very much the prototypical California girl, which happened to be her home state. At 48, Becky could easily pass for a woman a decade younger, but these last few years of Meghan's illness had begun to take a toll on her youthful appearance. There were gray streaks camouflaged in her blonde mane, and crow's feet marked the edges of her blue eyes, deep enough that it looked as though the birds themselves had perched there at night while she slept. Still, men found her attractive, lusted after her, convinced themselves that she could not resist their charms. She understood the sway she held over some men, most men, but she was always strategic in the application of this power of hers. Her seatmate was the rare breed who gave off no creep factor whatsoever, so she could keep her attention on her phone and not be distracted by him. Carl, her husband of 20 years, should have answered her by now. How hard was it to text, "Meghan's fine," or "We're fine," or "No worries, safe travels, XO," anything of the sort. But it had been ages, well, more like 30 minutes, since she'd sent her last probing text, and his radio silence was deeply unsettling. He knew how nervous she was to leave Meghan. She'd been up all night with worry, and he'd promised to respond right away whenever she texted him. Why isn't he answering now? The flight attendant patrolled the aisle with the watchful eye of a prison guard. Becky slumped farther forward to block her phone as she typed another message to Carl. "Plane leaving, where are you? What's going on?" That voice in Becky's head, the one that had told her not to go to California in the first place, spoke up again to issue stern admonishments of how long the flight was from Boston. She'd be thousands of miles from her daughter. It was stupid to think she could go there without feeling perpetually sick to her stomach. But what other choice did she have? Her mother was dying. According to her sister Sabrina, her only sibling, it was a matter of days. "I know you have your issues, we both do, but she's our mother," Sabrina had said during yesterday's phone call. "You should come home." The truth was, Becky did.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?